That's right, we are here in Crenbowl Season 9, the final season before we move on to Blood Bowl 3. My name is Big Papa Pope, here to take you through a roundup of the league. Starting as we do in Division A with Sir Blanc's Amazons going against Sparky's Ogres, and let me just show you real quick how this went for Sir Blanc. There are also some plays in this game that I did want to look over as well. Starting here, where Sir Blanc decides to have his left flank move forward in an attempt to wrap around Sparky's line to get to the ball carrier. The problem here for Sir Blanc is that this leaves a major gap in the defense that is only covered by one Amazonian. With only one block to be made, a lane for the ball carrier forms. Sparky takes this gap and eventually leads to him marching down the field with the ball carrier, which, after Nolvar getting a dig in, leads to the first touchdown of the game. With Blanc getting the ball back, he immediately makes a dive to the right side of the field to try and score before halftime. The crucial mistake made here was that he left their ball carrier next to a down Ogre. The Ogre, of course, gets up and knocks the ball carrier down, and yeah, a Goblin later picks the ball up, but there's no way an Ogre team can score with such little time left in the half. I may have been proved wrong. Luckily for Blanc, he does get the ball in the second half, and after getting knocked down by an Ogre, gets back up and passes the ball downfield to make a breakaway for the end zone. Now, the Nobblers do surround the ball carrier, but luckily, a defender stumbles the best that they can roll, and using the dodge ability, Blanc is able to stay on his feet. Once it's Blanc's turn again, he throws the ball to another player and brings it in for the touchdown, making the game a one-score game again. And despite the amount of removed players I showed you guys at the beginning of this, Blanc actually gives Sparky a scare here at the end, with him knocking down the Ogre ball carrier and passing downfield. But it can only last for so long as the Amazonian ball carrier is knocked down as well. This does lead to the Ogres driving up the field, but thanks to a bad roll on the go for it, leads to the Ogre falling on the goal line, making this game end 2-1 in Sparky's favor. Next in Division B, we got Chimps Wood Elves going up against Finloe's Lizardmen. And we're jumping straight into this one, so there's immediately some early game shenanigans with Finloe getting his croc score with prehensile tail onto the ball carrier. Luckily for Chimps, the dodge is made successfully and a pass is made to another elf downfield. And after having a war dance and move a little skink out of the way, a touchdown is scored, giving the elves the early advantage. As a follow Petri, the skink going Mach 20 down the sideline. This is who I'm going to focus on for the drive because they refuse to go down. So we see Chimps bringing the two elves over to cover the scoring threat. Doesn't matter. Dodges away. They got places to be. One more dodge. Oh, see? No issue. So Chimps is thinking they're done with the skink related shenanigans. Goes for the blitz. Gets a push. Still not going down. But that's totally fine because next turn there's another chance. Nope. Still gets pushed. But there's a different player there so he can get a block. Oh, push again. Alright. After this, there's a stalemate form between the players. Perhaps out of respect. Perhaps out of being scared of what Petri will do if antagonized more. Unfortunately, the drive itself dies at midfield and the game goes to halftime. After the first half, Finloe needs a good start in the second to win this game. In what better way than beating on some elves, racking up 2 injuries on turn 9, the Lizardmen cleaning up the center of the field. And with that clearance being made, an open lane is formed for the ball carrier to hand off to the legend herself, Petri, who runs it in for the touchdown, continuing to be a thorn in the elf side. On the next drive, disaster strikes as the elves fail to pick up the ball, causing a turnover and giving the Lizardmen easy lane for the ball in the lead. Oh, turnover. And now, with the opportunity given back to the elves, they take full advantage of it and run down the left side of the field, pass to a war dancer, and score the touchdown, making the game 2-1 with about a quarter of the game left to be played. Jumping to turn 13, where we have an elf death. Now, I would have a moment of silence, but that implies that Wood Elves would give us the same courtesy, so we move on. This final drive of Finloe is something I actually want to point out because his textbook drive of caging and keeping the ball protected. Here on turn 13, he has his nice square with the edges covered, and the weakest edge is the point where they will least likely attack from. Cage allows themselves to move up the field at a decent pace, with the big Saurus taking care of clearing the path. It's all a fundamental play by Finloe here. That's exactly what Finloe does, as in the next turn he slowly moves the skink up the field, and it finally culminates in a touchdown in turn 15. This does end up being the last score of the game, meaning the two sides tied at 2 apiece. In Division C, we have Salty Cola's humans going against FusionsSniper's Amazons. And immediately we have a wrench in both coaches' plans as some spectators get a little too excited and decide to throw rocks onto the field, stunning players from both teams. And onto turn 1, we see an interesting mistake by FusionsSniper as they elect to move players away from the ball, but also left gaps where the humans can get through and surround the ball themselves. And here we see the product of leaving a gap open where Cola has essentially moved his whole team to the ball, making this drive his to control. Despite having this advantage, a scramble for the ball actually does happen, but Cola maintains control and makes a crucial mistake here. See, instead of going for the end zone, he elects to delay a score, which would give Sniper less time to score themselves. This is usually good time management. The only issue is that Sniper had a player in range to blitz the ball carrier, which had the ball bounce out of bounds, making Cola's chance in the red zone ending with no score. Worse yet for Cola, Sniper is able to grab the ball and break away from the pack and out of range for any of the humans to catch her. And in contrast to what happened on the other side of the field, Sniper wastes no time running into the end zone, giving his team the early lead. That wasn't it for Cola in this half though, as they were able to make a pass to another player downfield. And despite an effort to knock him down by Sniper, is able to break away for the end zone. Only to fail a GFI, making 2 drives in for Cola at the goal line. And it seems that the pattern of trouble in the red zone is going to continue for Cola, as he actually does get a catcher into the end zone already on turn 10. But when the thrower attempts to throw to them, they fail the pass, even with the pass skill. And after seeing his thrower fail him on the one job that he has, the catcher decides to take matters into their own hands and run out of the end zone, run back in, and score to finally put the humans on the board. And this doesn't really have anything to do with the drive, but I think the fans got a little mad that there weren't enough rocks being thrown, so decided to add to it. Something that does matter, though, is that we see shades of what happened in the first half as Sniper goes for the ball, but fails the pickup, once again giving humans an open field to take control of the ball. And this time around, the humans take this advantage for all it's worth as they grab the ball and score again to gain the lead late into the game. And at this point, with so little time left in the game, and trying to climb back into it for a tie, Sniper makes a play for the ball carrier to be closer to the end zone, but effectively flanked from every side by humans. This leads to the ball carrier actually getting injured and ends their last chance of tying the game, giving Cola the win 2-1. And here we are going into Division D, where we see Snark McClark's Kislev going against Synthric Dwarves. And at the beginning of this game, we see a standard Dwarf game take place with the Dwarves rolling up slowly up the field and putting a wall around the ball carrier. But something cursed happens. To count that out for you, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 injuries for the Dwarves by the end of the game and 1 knockout. These players are supposed to have armor value 9. Granted, 2 of them are from serves, which are instant armor breaks, but still, some savage removal from the Kislev. And we're just going to move on to the second half where we are still scoreless, but we actually see a great setup here for the Kislev here as they have taken over the left side of the field. Now, usually this isn't really a good wall, but with the Dwarves being so slow, it actually helps the Kislev out as the ball carrier picks it up and begins moving down the field. And here we have an interesting blitz play by Snark where he calls the blitz, and after pushing the Dwarf away, runs around the ball carrier to help with the zoning on the other side. Unfortunately, as we see here, it doesn't exactly help with the protection, as we have the most agile Dwarf you've ever seen, getting the blitz on the ball carrier. But still, pretty good play by Snark. And to recover this ball, Snark does it in the most Kislev way possible, by dodging away, picking up the ball, leaping over his own lineman, and running towards the end zone. And on the next turn, he does run to the end zone to get the first score very late into the game. And unfortunately, the next drive doesn't seem to be going much better for Synthric, as, feeling the pressure of the clock, goes for a GFI and falls over, ending the turn. By turn 15, Snark has gotten into the backfield and is threatening to score again. Snark goes for a last-ditch move to blitz him, and does knock him down, but unfortunately it also knocks down his player, ending the turn once again. Now, Snark already has this game won, but wants to get more experience for his players, so he has his free player run up, grab the ball, and run into the end zone for the last touchdown of the game, ending this 2-0. And in Division E, we got AlongTheRiver's High Elves versus Petrus 41's Wood Elves. Now, I think someone's selling rocks to the fans because, yeah. But going on to turn 1, Petrus runs and grabs the ball and tosses it to the War Dancer. Now, River's answer here will be really interesting. Turnover. So, naturally, the Wood Elves take this opportunity to drive up the field, but River has another chance to get the turnover. 1-0 Wood Elves. The second drive doesn't seem to be going better for River as they roll to the right and attempt to throw the ball to a player downfield, but fails the pass. Thanks to safe throw though, they do hold on to the ball. Now this skill doesn't really show its usefulness here as Petrus just blitzes the ball carrier and knocks them down. And the Wood Elves are already in a great position to grab this ball and just break away from everyone else. And on turn 6, they do just run it in to drive up the score 2-0. Now on the next drive, things get even harder for River as a blitz occurs, allowing the defense to move first. Worse yet, Petrus was able to get a player underneath the ball. And you know, this is where River says, I'm tired of this Wood Elf garbage, and just blitzes the War Dancer. And knocking him out for his trouble. And on to the next turn, River has a lane that they can run through and pass to the player on the end zone, ending this half 2-1 in the Wood Elves' favor, but still a fighting chance for these High Elves. And you know, River must have liked what happened at the end there and said, I like scoring fast. Let's do that again. And passes the ball to an Elf that breaks away from the pack all on turn 11. And then they run it in on the next turn, tying this game up with 4 turns left in the game. Next turn, the comeback train cannot be stopped as River runs to the lane, blitzes the Wood Elf, tells them that they'll be having that ball, and then knocks them down. And of course the scramble for the ball occurs, but on turn 15, River is able to at least move it towards the red zone. And credit to Petrus, he does knock down the ball carrier, and sets up a really difficult situation for River to get this last score. But River does make a good play here as well, shoving 2 players onto the ball so that the ball bounces into the end zone, where High Elf picks it up and scores, ending this comeback 3-2 into the High Elf's favor. And on to the last division, Division F, we had Kitmat's Underworld Denizens versus 3 of Swords Chaos. And we're going to start here on turn 3 where we had the Beastman rolling right. Not really liking what he sees, but so he rolls left. But there's actually a mistake here. See this guy? He's already marked by this guy, leading to Kitmat breaking up the cage and blitzing the ball carrier. Now the ball does bounce in a favorable position for Chaos, and the Beastman is able to grab the ball and roll left to continue the drive up the field. And now on to turn 7 where Kitmat's last line defense is able to knock down the ball carrier, but unfortunately isn't able to stay on their feet themselves, leaving the lane open for another Beastman to run in and score the touchdown on the last turn of the half. And onto the second half where Kitmat wastes no time getting onto the Chaos' side of the field, and by turn 13 has created a lane for his ball carrier to run through. And on turn 14, Kitmat has his ball carrier running in to tie the game up at 1-all. And turn 15, Kitmat sees a lane for his blitzer to go through, rushes the ball carrier, and knocks the ball and the Beastman out. Now there is an attempt to get the ball back from 3 of Swords, but unfortunately they failed the dodge, giving Kitmat the free space to grab the ball and run it on the final turn, giving the Denizens a 2-1 victory. But that is all I have for you today. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube shit. But with all that said, thank you again for watching. I've been Big Papa Pope, and I'll see you next time.